Okay, so I just finished puking again. Yay. At some point I had mentioned how my death and resulting injuries has actually been the least of my problems in these past 2.5 years, right? And the three major problems have been unnecessary. I've already mentioned David Harris, Marina Towers, Alexandria, Virginia, 22314, one stoplight outside of DC, and how my professional opinion is that he is a sociopath showing escalating tendencies of aggression towards women that he feels are inferior. And I want, if nothing else, his name and his face to go viral so people know that when they see him, keep an eye out on your women. And then we have lovely Sally the widow, who clearly still wears her husband's rank. And the Marine, who seems to defend a sociopath in his house. That even when begged for months for them to simply fire a man that was sexually harassing me to the point of a mental breakdown, why didn't you just fire him? And then, wow, I'm not going to get into competition of the services, and I respect every uniform. But the uniform's in the blood, in the actions, and in the heart. It's not something you wear, and that's why stolen valor is so shameful. But then, the compassionate way to look is that they are so lacking in self-esteem and hope in themselves that they feel a need to, what is the phrase, where copying someone's the highest form of flattery, which is why I believe in contrition. I hate money. Money's a thing. It doesn't even have any value. Money is worth less than the paper and ink it's on. And sweetheart, I hate to break your mind and open up your eyes, but the gold standard was gone a long time ago. And y'all probably should have already, well, actually, the real world's probably already gone to the diamond standard because it's soaked in blood. And if you actually think your dollar's worth shit, honey, you're already more far gone than I thought. But don't panic. Because as long as we keep doing the same economically, then we continue the same way. Remember, balance, small adjustments, small adjustments, small adjustments, just like any good pilot would. Small adjustments. Okay? By the way, I get serious motion air sickness, so actually I remember the rumor that I vomited on the general in Iraq. I did not vomit on him. I vomited immediately out of the helicopter at the right side of the flight line, and the general came up and slapped the shit out of me on my IBA, and like, "You're alright, soldier?" I am not a pilot. Just hung out with a couple. A lot. We gotta create other ways. No is not an option. And society, the tables have already turned. That little last moment, that last chance to turn back, that already fucking happened, right? We have already neurologically altered our children. Society has already gotten to the point that all the multitasking, the video games, whatever, our children neurologically can actively do like 10 things at once or whatever, but they can't do any of them very well and they can't sustain it. Just look what the sins of the father have done to the son. And I'm not even talking like, ooh, hippie granola crunchy. I'm talking fucking science, fucking facts. I'm talking perception. Because America's not been thinking right. And if it was, maybe the army would actually know what it's doing. But it doesn't. I gave up everything. I was a model. I had my master's degree in, let's just say PSYOP. And I got it from the top school in Korea because I was studying the conflict in North Korea. Bam! Then I had a position created for me at the United Nations. Bam! So that I could keep doing all this shit. Oh my god. And at the United Nations Command Military Armistice Commission. One, you boys saved my life. You know who you are? Thank you. Secondly, I met my family there. You know, I had, and I mean that in so many respects, and I didn't even realize it till I said it. When I changed my last name, when I changed my name from Amber Coe to Zoe Richardson, I took the name Richardson because I adopted a family at the UN that is both career military, both of them and their son, and they mean the world to me. They always have and they always will. They're my family. But also, don't get me wrong, my degree was in military shit, right? You know, so, but it's different. It's different to read a recipe than it is to eat a meal. You know, oh my gosh. I remember begging Gil, Major Gil, and Mad Dog. Mad Dog, okay. So I knew I had gotten close enough with my guys that I had already started to decide that I wanted to put the uniform on myself, right? And my Unc Mac guys and I, we were tight. I remember my rugby team and my Unc Mac guys. Well, good fit. Yeah, it's a different thing to read a recipe than it is to eat the meal. And Staff Sergeant Odie was the one that actually got me to sign. And trust me, I had been gruesomely torturing recruiters for a year before I actually signed. And Odie was the only one that was a straight shooter that knew his shit, that if he didn't know the answer, he actually would find out. Odie was the only one who could convince me to sign my name on that line. And I immediately regretted it. I remember being so fucking pissed at MEPS that I refused the whole little thing. I'm like, I fucking say the words, no, I don't want. My then boyfriend, Captain Palanki, because I moved back to the United States so that I could continue a relationship with him, because we had been going for like a year in Korea. Those are all different stories too. And every story has at least two sides. And everything worked out for the best. So everything's fine. But, fuck, I completely forget the point. Whatever. I mean, the point is, I should smoke more. Oh, I remember trying to make that point like several points ago. My boyfriend and I have this thing where he's never dropped the L word, and I respect him for it. I hold him in higher regard because my boyfriend has never told me he loves me. Words mean nothing. Words are actually less than nothing. Thoughts. We are responsible for our thoughts. My VA shrink I had at one point, I've had many, loved her to death, but that was the one thing where I was adamantly like, you're wrong. We are responsible for our thoughts. That they occur, Sure, but it is our responsibility to not cling to them. They come up and we let them fade. The longer we cling to them, the harder we hold on to them, the more we make them real. That's why Amber had to die. Because I held on so tight. I had to go just that far to let go. My young Matt guy saved my life. Wow, that's a fucking interesting story of me ranger roping in the snow from the top of the building with the fucking cable TV cord just to... First time a uniform saved my life. Or we could actually take it back to Hurricane Andrew. The uniform has always been my family. And that is why I am not disgraced that the Army let me down when they had to ask for the uniform back. Parody, no harm, no foul. Moving forward. I completely forgot the point.